Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Behind the Screens, your favorite esports and gaming talk show here at RadioUTD. My name is Hector.
I'm Hitarth.
And I'm Adi. And this week, or well, I guess this is like the calm before the storm kind of week, huh? Because there wasn't much this week. But the reason we all know that is because it's in prep for the next gen consoles launching next week. So, actually, I never really asked, are any of you two interested in getting the next gen consoles at all?
I would say I am, but I think definitely not at release.
I'm
What about
with
you,
that.
Hitarth?
I don't think I'm gonna get something at release, but I kind of want a PS5. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I'm definitely not getting an Xbox. The only thing that I would get from Xbox is their controller, and that's about it.
Yeah, most of like I'm sure the Xbox Series X is not going to be a bad console whatsoever. If it's like you've never owned a console before, it'll be great. But if you own like a decently good PC, Game Pass exists for PC.
Yeah, exactly.
And they've already confirmed that like a lot of their heavy hitting titles like Halo will be coming to PC. So I don't know, it becomes a bit harder to justify that. I mean, if you really like the ecosystem that it has, like the way that they do their UI, multiplayer, and like the achievements. Like I know a lot of people are into achievements for that. Like then I could see the reason to make the jump. But for me, definitely more of a PlayStation guy when it comes to this. And also, not to mention, like now that I can like confirm that it does have backwards compatibility for everything but like 10 titles no one's heard of. It becomes really easy for me to like more or less like justify if I was to get like a PS5 at launch. Like it's one of those things, because I discussed it with my sibling. We were gonna like split it. Since all of our games that we have on the PS4 work on the PS5, if we see one on launch day that just happens to be available, yeah, why not? We'll pick it up. But we're not like dying to get it.
Yeah, I think it's more or less like PlayStation is definitely worth it, like you said, for people that have PC gaming, just because of the exclusives and such. But at the same time, with everything that's been going on with like game delays and stuff like that, there's not really like a pressing need to buy a PS5 at launch instantly, unless you're like really want to get Valhalla on the PS5 and not on your PC. You know what I mean? Or Miles Morales, I guess, but...
Mm-hmm.
Well, see, the thing with Miles Morales is also on, like, the PS4. And that is one thing I was going to say regarding, like, considering a next-gen purchase is, I was looking at 3 games in particular, right, to get, like, next-gen, being Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition, which is, you know, a game that was already on PS4, but they, apparently, Devil May Cry series is known for doing special editions that just have like new playable characters with a lot more content. So you know, I might as well go after the definitive edition. That's PS5 only, with a DLC that's gonna be released to people who own the original later on. But apparently, it only adds in the characters and not the bonus content, which is kind of weird. But so there's Devil May Cry. Then there's Spider-Man Miles Morales, which is going to be released on PS4 and PS5 at the same time, you know, with like a free next-gen upgrade. Many companies have been doing that. And then the last one is this game called The Pathless, which is kind of strange because it's on PS5, it's also going to be coming out PS4, and the other place it's coming out is Apple Arcade.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that happened with the games like Hot Lava.
Oh, did it? I was
Yeah,
not
you
aware.
know that game that Hitarth and Phil used to play?
I did not know that, actually. Huh?
Oh, yeah.
That was a game that came out on Apple Arcade, like, actually at the same time as on PC, and it was... I mean, I don't think it really made the game any worse. Like, clearly, it still ran like if it was an actual game and not a mobile game. So, I mean, I think it was more of the scenario where, like, game developers are now kind of creating their game. Like, you could take Genshin, for instance. Creating their game at, like, a full scale, and if they have the capability of porting it onto a mobile device, then they do that probably last instead of having a mobile game in mind, making it, and then being like, okay, so how can we port this onto the PC for more milk?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to like go the other way around, you know?
I mean, it's hard both ways, but I agree. It's much harder going to the PC from mobile than down.
Mm-hmm. Well, actually, I'm thinking about it. It's probably easier to make a mobile game on PC than it is to make a PC game onto mobile.
Yeah.
But I guess for the whole idea behind like how is this game gonna feel like a PC game? That's kind of hard.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, because most games you see that are like originally on PC that get like put on mobile as well are like, well, this is like an actual PC game. So like, how does this play on mobile?
Yeah, like you take like Minecraft, Fortnite, like those two are like ones that did it very extremely well, and I think that's why they did so well on like the App Store. But then like when you look at other apps that were like made for mobile, and you can go like throwback to like Angry Birds, stuff like that, those are like pretty like the translation to them on PC doesn't really match. Like they play pretty poor.
Yeah.
In the case that they were on PC, I actually don't even know if it is on PC.
Looking at some of these like next generation like titles, I say next gen in air quotes, and I guess I'll like go into that here in a moment. But like launch titles that are coming out with this, very very few of them are exclusive to the next generation. A lot of like the companies are doing this. Like you can buy it now and then upgrade it for free later. I'm looking at the launch titles for the PS5, and I think I only see 2 that are like next gen, being the Demon Souls remake and then Godfall. I think every other game on here, and again I could be wrong, I'm just looking at this, like I'm not, well I guess actually I forgot to mention 2, Astro's Playroom and Bugsnax, but I barely count those as games. No, I'm just kidding. But a lot of these are like releasing previous gen and next gen at the same time. So I'm wondering how that's going to impact sales. I mean, I'm guessing like, what do you think is the type of consumer to pick up a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series X like launch day? Like, is it just because they want the latest tech day one, or? Yeah.
Also, like, I guess probably just people that have bought PS4 Pro / the other PS4's day of release. Like, it's pretty much a trend. If you pre-order another console from the same like line, typically if it's a long enough time, you'll pre-order the next one as well. Like, I'd say a decent chunk of those pre-orders would carry over. But on top of that, I think that I think there's surprisingly going to be a lot more people that jump onto the PS5 than we think. Because of, think about how many people during the pandemic have started playing video games. And even though the PS5 isn't quote unquote like cheap, I think that a lot of the like normie community, if that makes sense, like people that otherwise wouldn't have played video games would be like,
that's still such a strange title to me.
Yeah.
Like,
but you know what I mean.
I just call the people who don't play games like that. I don't know. That's just me though.
No, I understand. I'm saying like so that you can like instantly understand who I'm talking about. Because like if I just say like people that don't play games, I guess it could. I mean that would work as well, but that wouldn't be as cool, you know.
I'm sorry. Are you trying to make the debate that saying the word normie is cool?
Yeah, it's kind of hip, you know.
Okay.
And I think that's where Hector's canceled.
But like that group of people that are like just picking up gaming for the first time, like I bet a lot of them would be picking up the PS5. But I could be wrong, and they actually could be more inclined to pick up like the Xbox that's cheap, because that one was like what, $300. The Xbox Series,
the digital only one, yeah.
S.
For a next generation console, that is absurd.
Yeah, like I will not deny the Xbox has insane value for what it is, for performance, resolution, stuff like that. And I think that's probably the most comparable console to a PC, like as far as like you can get a PC that can maybe fight like for $600 with the PS5, maybe, but like $300 you can't get anything close in the PC realm. So I think that Xbox definitely is a really enticing offer for people that haven't jumped on a console before.
Yeah, but if I remember correctly, though, the one like big asterisk when it comes to the Xbox Series X was the price of expanding storage.
Yeah.
And let me just put it into perspective for you guys, right? Like, here I am, I'm about to hop onto the Xbox store. I'm looking at an Xbox SSD, and I'm looking at the 1 terabyte option. Give me a price.
I think it is $225.
All right.
1
Hitarth?
terabyte? No, I think
1
it's close to
terabyte.
the. I think it's close to the 250.
$200.
Oh wow, it's
Yeah.
lower.
Yeah, it's
What
lower.
do you mean it's lower, dude? 1 terabyte on the
It did-
PC is like $80.
Exactly. It's just like if they managed to make that like cost efficient and made it like, let's say, like $100 max, like somehow, they would be insane. Because like I think I went and looked it up. The Xbox Series X storage size for like games and apps, like not just like total 500, because it's also got to store the OS, is 364 gigabytes. And you know, I don't know how many games that's enough for. I think that might be like 3 games now with how big games are getting.
God, that's crazy to think about.
But like, but you're just like, yeah, I want to look into getting more. Like, let's see how much more 500 gigabytes of SSD is. Oh, that's $120.
Yeah. I don't know. I definitely won't be picking up the PS5 anytime soon. I think, just in general, at least for me personally, like nothing on the PS5 is really enticing. The only thing that I was like, ooh, that sounds pretty cool, is Miles Morales. And if I can pick it up on the PS4, I really couldn't care for the PS5 at all.
See, like the way that I view it is, if I can get my hands on a PS5, everything I currently own for my PS4 works. I still have a PlayStation 3 that's sitting around, not that the PS4 was backwards compatible in the first place, you know? I can pick up a PS5, do a data transfer, sell my PS4, and mitigate the cost so I can play all the games that I want right now, and then be ready for all the next generation stuff that comes out. I don't need to worry about looking for a next gen console later.
Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know.
I mean, that's
I
also
think
like
that's
the
because you
perspective sort of
also
thing.
play like console gaming a lot more than you
Yeah, I was
probably-
about to bring up the exact same point. Yeah.
Like I could say it even with my PS4, because I was gifted my PS4 practically, so I didn't really. I think the Switch is the only console that I've put in time into like playing, and I really haven't owned a I haven't owned a PlayStation or Xbox prior to this PlayStation actually. So I mean, I had a 360, but it was just to play Dance Central or something like that. I don't know.
I've actually owned more PlayStation consoles than I think I have, because I own the PS1 that's still sitting back in India somewhere.
You own a PS1?
I do own a PS1. It is the first console I ever played. I started
Jeez.
out at PlayStation. Yeah.
Wait,
It was.
I'm actually interested. What games did you play on it?
The games that I remember owning were Lion King for the PS1. It was Tarzan for the PS1. I remember I couldn't beat the final boss because I blew up platformers since I was like 4.
Me with Sunshine.
And then there was one more game that we owned that I never played because my dad told me never to play it because it was like a rated M game. It was GoldenEye. I own GoldenEye for the PS1, but sadly that's still in an apartment in India somewhere. I would love to go back to get it. I'm sure it's like totally broken down now and it would need to be restored back, but I would love to get my hands on that thing. I owned a PS1. I owned a PS2 whenever we came to America, just because like my dad knew what a PlayStation was. You know, he bought the PlayStation from America, and then when we came here there was like a PlayStation 2, so he bought us that. Oddly enough, the only game I remember playing on the PlayStation 2 was the B movie.
Heck
Of
yeah.
all things.
All right, there you go.
And that's how you
So-
memorize the script.
Yeah.
Like I remember the B movie. I know I played other games on that thing, but for the life of me, I don't know what they were. The B
That's like
movie's
me
the
with
only
the
thing that stands
DS.
out.
I remember playing Flushed Away, the movie video game.
I remember you mentioned that before. I went and looked up some footage of the game. It looked terrible. It
Yeah.
was actually so garbage.
Yeah, it was atrocious. I think I don't remember like too vividly what I played on the DS, but I remember playing like I played Brain Age a lot. That was really fun. I played
I'm so proud of you.
yeah, something didn't click on that game still, but you know.
His brain age is 3.
And then I played like the new Super Mario Bros for the DS. I did a
Oh,
lot
heck
of
yeah,
that
dude.
Luigi's Poker.
Oh,
That was
so much
fun. That was fun.
I remember doing that.
Like the game
Oh,
was fun itself, but the mini games were even more fun. It was like the wanted posters, the trampoline thingy, and the Luigi's Poker. That was a really
How
fun
are you
game.
gonna forget flower picking, dude? Come
Big
on!
Yoshi, come on.
That was one of the worst mini games I've ever
I
seen
have
in my
no
life.
idea. I can't believe you're objectively wrong, is what I'm hearing.
I don't know how that passed into the game, to be quite honest.
It's
like-
just like a little fun thing. Like I'm pretty sure it's something one of the devs made on their free time. They're like, yeah, we can put it in. Why not? It's cute.
They're just like, whatever. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
Not
My
every
favorite
little
is
thing.
that one like Twitter clip where it's like someone playing that and he gets like loves me not and he like spikes his DS on the
oh
floor.
my God.
Yeah, I remember that. I do. It's funny you mentioned that though, because going back to what I was saying for like PlayStation, I also owned a PSP that I played a lot. Like I had like 2 racing games on it. I think one was like a Gran Turismo game, and the other was this like arcadey type like Ferrari game. But whenever I moved to America, I traded that in for a DS, and I would play the new Super Mario Brothers game that you mentioned. And you know how they had a like local multiplayer? I played so much of that on the bus to school.
Really?
Did you guys ever like mess around with that?
What game was
Wait,
it again?
which one?
Sorry, I didn't catch it.
This was the 2D new Super Mario Brothers on the DS.
Yeah, the one that was like the side scroller, right?
Yeah, the side
We're
scroller.
That's the one we're
on
talking
same
about.
Game. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I was just getting back to that. I was saying, did you guys ever mess around with like the multiplayer mode of that?
Oh, dude. Yeah,
There's a
of course.
multiplayer mode?
Oh,
Yeah,
Hector,
it
you
was,
missed
out. It was a local wireless, and you only needed one cartridge of the game.
Yeah, the
Everybody else
local
around you
play.
could get it with a
That was
DS
banger.
download.
Yeah.
And I think it was a like 2D scroller where the level would loop, and stars would spawn like on the stage, and it was essentially like a race to see who could get like the most stars within a given amount of time or a certain amount of stars. I don't remember specifically, but you could like
yeah.
hit them with like fireballs. You could jump on their head to let them go of a star. If somebody else got the star, as in the star power up, you better start booking it.
Mhm.
You know, I don't actually
That's so
remember
much
that at
fun.
all, but I remember Mario Kart like download play a lot on the DS. That was fun.
Mhm,
Yeah,
we
I
did
never-
that as well.
I never personally picked up Mario Kart on the DS. Like I think I
Really?
remember playing it once, and
What
that was
it,
like
Mario
off DS
Kart
download.
DS, not 7. I'm just referring to the DS one. Yeah.
Mhm,
Yeah, I know that's what you're talking about. But I never had like any friends who had the game. I think I tried it once, and I didn't know what I was doing, so I absolutely got dumpstered. It was, I was just
That
like,
was
"What
me
is
too.
this?"
I think the reason why I picked it up back then is because I used to play on the GameCube Double Dash one with my cousin and my sisters, so I already knew the game somewhat. At least enough to enjoy playing it. But like Sunshine, when I played it, that game was so hard, dude. Like it's still hard now. Imagine when I was like 7 playing it.
I'm
And I was
still
younger. I was like
amazed.
6.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm still amazed that a younger me somehow managed to 100% that game. I had no idea how. Like, I remember like doing most of the stuff by myself, and then the only thing I used like any form of guide for was the blue coins, because the blue coins can go die in a fire.
Yeah, the blue coins were terrible.
Yeah. I mean, I
It's funny
100%ed
though.
it later, but I didn't even get close to beating it. I think I got stuck on like, I'm pretty sure Serena Beach or something like that. and then
I
just
remember
stopped.
one level I was terrible at was the Pianta village when it was on fire, and the basis of
Oh,
the
that's
level
so
is
hard.
in Sunshine. For those of you who don't know, you have Flood, which is essentially a water jetpack that can like spray goop that's usually in your way. Like that's usually the main obstacle of Mario Sunshine, and like that lets you hover. So you know it's a very handy tool, clearing things out of your way and letting you move further and further. For the start of this stage, the antagonist of the game, Shadow Mario, steals your jetpack and places it on like this high perch, and the level is filled with this fiery goop, which basically if you touch you die because it just like stuns you into it again and again and again until you run out of health.
I actually don't know how to beat that level without doing the speedrun strat. That's like Hitarth. That's like the most Hitarth thing I've ever said. But I only know how to beat that level through the speedrun strat, where it's like you go on the ledge, you dive into the lava, or you get hit by a flying goop, and it'll give you iframes.
You get hit by the wind enemies.
Yeah,
Like
you get hit by the wind. It gives you
wind enemies.
iframes, and then you just.
Oh, really? That's how you do it? I actually didn't know
That's
that.
how that's how the speedrun is. I don't know how
That's
you're
the
supposed to do
fastest.
it.
That's the fastest way to do it. The second fastest, which also is kind of cheesing it, is there's like a little water
tree,
pool
right?
near the
Oh.
lava, and then you just have Mario go into the water pool, and you jump above the lava, and then move back. And because the
Oh, right,
small
'cause
bit
you-
of water on Mario will actually touch the ground, you'll slowly clear up the goop.
Yeah,
So you just keep
the
doing
droplets
that.
when he jumps out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That must be so tedious though.
yeah. That's why I learned the speedrun way.
I remember like the first time game overing a lot on that, but like my history with the GameCube is weird. Like GameCube's a great console, but I always owned like a Wii. Like that was around the time that I started like actively playing games. I was a very outdoorsy kid prior to that. And my friend for Christmas says, "Yo, I see you have a Wii. I have this GameCube game I need you to play. It's like easily one of the best GameCube games." And then he hands me Pikmin.
I still have
And I was
never
just-
played Pikmin actually.
Pikmin 3 Deluxe came out, and
Yeah.
my sister Prachi, she went and ordered it. And it came in on Monday, and then she walked in on Tuesday afternoon saying 100% of the main campaign.
Jeez.
It is not a very long game to its credit.
It doesn't really
It's
seem
more
like a
about,
game
like-
that I would enjoy, to be honest.
It's good in length and like fun for what it is, and then Deluxe thankfully adds a lot of like bonus content in the form of a bonus side story involving the previous protagonists from Pikmin 1 and 2, and then a bunch of side missions that are multiplayer.
Yeah.
So like it seems to do well in content, but I have a problem with its pricing, but that's something I can get into another time. I don't mean to like ramble on and on.
Well,
No,
I guess. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, speaking of like that speedrunning thing you're talking about, and going back to New Super Mario Bros. I was gonna say I can't believe I remembered this, but like even when I was younger, I was still trying to speedrun games.
Shocking.
And I think not when I was like really young and first got the game, like New Super Mario Bros. When we're talking about like playing it on the bus and all that, but like still a decent bit after, like a couple years after, when I actually started getting into like speedrunning games and stuff, I like went back to the game and I was like, I wonder how hard it would be to speedrun this game.
Man's
And
like
I
4 years
started-
old. He's like clipping through maps and like doing
No,
like.
no. I was just
I
doing,
can see
like,
it.
I was just doing the New Super Mario Bros. Route because I knew all the
You
shortcuts.
say that
and
like I would
knew,
know what that is.
Like I knew all the shortcuts and I knew exactly
He's like, how do I clip out of the womb?
No, like I knew how to get to the cannons consistently, and I knew how to get
okay,
the world.
so you-
So
Actually, no. Hang on. I will agree on him for one thing. When it comes to like, when you're younger, you don't have access to a lot of money, and so you just constantly replay the games that you have. When I was younger, for the GameCube, you need a memory card, right?
Yeah.
And I never
God,
owned
yeah.
a memory card, so going back to Pikmin, I would essentially start speedrunning the beginning of Pikmin every single time because I never owned a memory card.
oh my
Like
god,
I could
that's
do
funny.
like the first two levels so fast. I think it was that and Pokemon Coliseum, which is a JRPG, was something that I kept restarting because I never owned a memory card and I never knew I needed one.
That's funny. So I guess a console that we've all definitely put a lot of hours into, the Wii. What would you guys say is your Most favorite game from the Wii. If you had to pinpoint
Super
it to
Mario
one.
Galaxy.
Oh yeah, I forgot that was on the Wii.
Super Mario Galaxy. Super
I
Mario
was like,
Galaxy
whoa,
2.
that was an easy question.
Yeah, I thought that was
Hang
gonna
on,
be harder.
you guys keep talking. I'm gonna go take a look at what Wii games I own and see if I can find anything that like I can't think of off the top of my head.
I'm looking online right now.
You know, funny enough, I think mine is actually WarioWare.
I mean,
I
that's a
still
good
can't
game.
believe we don't have another WarioWare game. That's so crazy to me.
I don't know why, but like that game just brings back so many memories. Like I vividly remember playing WarioWare and always being excited to play WarioWare. Like there was definitely other Wii games that I enjoyed playing. Mario Party 8 was a great one.
New Super Mario Bros. Wii was a good one for me.
Yeah, I played this one really interesting game that I'll link you guys. It was I don't even know how it's pronounced and I don't remember how it is, but it was basically this marble game similar to I guess like Super Monkey Ball in a way.
Marble game sounds
Yeah, it's
interesting.
really interesting. It was called Kororimpa, but it was also like Marble Mania is what it was called. Like
I feel like I've heard of that. That does ring a
I
bell.
have an idea what you were talking about.
yeah, it's extremely interesting. The gameplay is like pretty sick. If you look at it, I'll send it to you guys right now. But essentially like it's basically just this really interesting method of like marble racing where like you could like play local co-op and I would play with my sister and it would be like who can get to the finish first. But you're like
Oh, and you move around the stage with the Wii. That does seem like a really cool idea. Yo,
Yeah.
bring Marble Mania back on the Switch. I'd play it.
it was really fun. I would like love to like play it with you guys actually because I feel like it would still be fun today. Cause
I feel like it would be a
the
lot of
core is just-
screaming, which is like the best type of multiplayer game.
Yeah.
This just looks like a rip of Monkey Ball. Not gonna lie.
Essentially, but honestly, like
I
it's
mean-
very different in nature. Like it is essentially Monkey Ball, where you're moving the level.
Mhm.
But I
But,
think
I
it's
mean,
better
that
than
doesn't
Monkey
surprise
Ball
me.
Wii, honestly, personally.
Well, I have heard this. Actually.
What was that? The banana bullets, right?
Yeah. What's up?
It's Koro Rimpa.
Yeah, that's what I said.
It's
Yeah.
weird because the closest point of comparison I have is this really really old 2004 game called Hamster Ball. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this.
Mm-mm.
Well, I've heard of what a hamster ball is, but I don't think I know the game you're talking about.
All right,
Yeah,
if
this
you guys
person I
want to
sent
go,
you gameplay of is terrible.
Wait, Okami's on the Nintendo Wii.
yeah, Okami was originally on the PS2, and
Whoa.
then its main brush mechanic, which involved like pausing time and then drawing brush strokes to activate powers, was something a lot of people saw the Wii and was just like, "That's perfect." And so it took them a while,
Yeah.
but they put it on the Wii, and I actually own a copy.
That makes sense.
Good game.
I just really like the levels of this game. You could also switch your marble for like these like I had like a dog marble like this person does. That game was fun. I miss
So
it.
wait,
It gives
did-
What's up?
Does it like change the properties or just the way that it looks?
No, it would change the sounds when it like impacts on the floor. It would like bark when you like slam off different levels.
You know, I feel like that really brings up an interesting point to like whenever people talk about games the more and more they play them, they expect like these more like complex gameplay loops, right? And here we are talking about having fun while watching a ball roll around, right?
Dude, the game was so fun though. I mean, and it definitely like this compared to other games that I used to play as a child, like this actually seems like it would still be pretty fun like to play with friends now.
I think it would be, yeah.
Because like the whole concept, I mean I would say single player it's not as fun because it's just like you racing against nothing. It's just time trials, but like when you were playing local, like it would literally just be like essentially a ghost trial, or like you know how in the ghost races in whatchamacallit, in Mario Kart where you can like see the enemy, or your
Yeah.
other time like as a ghost, you would like
Yeah.
see them beside you as a ghost, and you're just like hauling to get to the finish before them. It was really fun.
What would you say is like one of the most? Okay, hang on. I have two questions. So we'll start with the first one being, what is the first game you remember playing in your entire life?
The only one that I have memory of, like very, very early, I think is LM.
Is Luigi's Mansion?
But, well, no, because I definitely played a game before that, I think. But maybe not. Because, like, I just think of DS games, but the GameCube I definitely had before I had a DS. And I only had a DS Lite as my first DS. So, but I do remember, like, me myself owning, or just in general playing?
Just in general playing, not owning.
Because I do remember playing, and I don't know if that was before or after. I have a really bad gauge of time. Actually, Monkey Ball on the, what was it? The Game Boy Advance at my friend's house. I don't know when that came out. Game Boy Advance. I don't think it was a junior. It could have been though.
While you're waiting, or trying to think of it, do you mind if I go ahead and
Go
say what
for
mine
it.
is?
Yeah, what do you remember?
Okay, so you guys are gonna laugh at the title of this. The game that I remember playing first is a game called Feeding Frenzy.
Well, nothing's
Um,
changed.
Yeah, there's the joke. I knew it. I was waiting for it.
I feel like I
Um,
know what this is. I've heard of
It
it
is
for
an
sure.
absurdly old game, and we would play it on my dad's laptop, and me and my sister would take turns playing it. But you're a fish in the ocean, and you move the fish around with a mouse, and there were like 3 types of fish within a given level, and you had like a certain amount of growth. So you'd start eating out the smallest fish, and just keep growing until you could eat the biggest fish, and then fill up the bar, and then the level will be over. And then while you're still small, you have to look out for the 2 tiers of fish that you can't eat, because if you run into them, they eat you and you have to restart. It's like a super simple gameplay loop. I'm looking at like somebody did an entire run through of the game. It's 1 hour. So it's not a very long game, but obviously I was young and I was terrible at games, so I played it for way longer than that. And it was cool because you would get to take control of like different types of fish. Like one was like a basic fish, and then you move on to like a lionfish, and then you get to like an orca eventually. And then you're trying to find out like what this like weird angler fish thing is in the ocean.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it was a fun time.
So yeah, I do think the first game that I have a memory of was Super Monkey Ball Jr. It was a game on the Game Boy Advance that I played at my friend's house. But I had to be like 6 when I played it. 6 or 7. And so, well, now that I think about it, I definitely played the original Monkey Ball before then, actually. So scratch that. It's super hard to gauge like time because of how long ago it was. Everything kind of blends together. But I know that my first game that I played was in between Sunshine, LM, Monkey Ball, or Monkey Ball Jr. So it was a Nintendo game.
What
For
about you,
me-
Hitarth?
For me, for sure, it was a Game Boy Advance game, because I remember playing that when I was younger. I think that was one of the first things I played on before I had the GameCube. And so, the 2 games that I remember playing on that were Pirates of the Caribbean: The Curse of the Black Pearl for Game Boy Advance.
Yes, sir.
Fun game,
Yeah,
fun game.
Listen,
Dude,
I-
movie
I-
games
I wanna
were
look this
so
up.
big back then.
And then there was this Tarzan game I played on the Game Boy Advance as well. And it's probably this one because it's the only one. Disney's Tarzan Return to the Jungle on the Game Boy Advance.
Dude, people still sleep on Shrek 2, I'm gonna be honest.
You know what? I think this game is the reason I'm good at platformers.
Is it odd that you're not the only person I've heard say that?
Dude, I don't know why, but I've gone back to it like 3 years ago, and it was still like a really, really fun time. Like the game definitely doesn't play as well as I remember it, but like the I guess like the combat system in a way was really interesting, where like you could essentially take control of 4 different playable characters, depending on like how many people you have plugged into the GameCube. You could either switch, or they would be in control of those characters. And then like you would have like these like mini games, or not even mini games, but like 1v1 brawls, where like a specific person, like Little Red Riding Hood, would have to like input like specific controls to like blow up birds with her voice or something like that. I don't know why I vividly remember that exactly, but it's most definitely a scene in there. I'm not tripping. Shrek 2, Little Red blowing up birds.
Wait, good sentence. But Hitarth, I'm looking at, I think you said Pirates of the Caribbean Curse of the Black Pearl for the Game Boy Advance, right? Is it like
Yes.
an isometric game?
Yes, it is.
This
game,
looks weird.
It was so much fun though. You couldn't believe how many different card trips. Anytime I was out, I'd be on the Game Boy playing this game. Oh my god. And I know I know like one of the cheat codes you can put into the game. Because there's an actual, because it's an old game, so there's an actual in the menu, like a cheats code option where you can type in the code that'll do like some fun, cool stuff. And so
Man,
this
I miss games that have in-game cheats. That's not a thing you two see anymore. That makes
Yeah,
me
I used to get like
know.
the cheats like book from like the Scholastic Book Fair.
Today's just a nostalgia trip episode, by the way. That's all this is.
Oh, this really is.
Like,
we'll be rambling on
remember-
about the next gen games next week, I'm sure. But as for right now, we just got time to chill, you know.
God, is this what this game looks like? This looks so old.
Go to like 3 minutes. It was like the weirdest thing. It was like you like wrangling chickens. That was like one of the missions. But the combat was like really fun. I just remember it. Like if you go to like 6 minutes,
honestly,
that was, like,
this
the boss
looks
fight.
better than I thought it would.
It was fun. That's what I'm saying. Like for the time that it came out, it like surprisingly was not bad. Like the game itself was pretty good. It just had like Shrek stamped on it, and like I feel like they did a pretty good job with it.
All right, boys, when we gonna play this?
I'm honestly down, dude. If you get to like 10 minutes, he starts chucking people.
Finally, an idea I can get behind.
He stomach slams them and chucks them in jail.
He's right.
Jesus Christ.
I guess we can move on to the second question I have. But I guess the two of you already have your own answers for this. I mean, Hitarth is clearly the first game that he played, which is like, what is the most obscure game that you think you played? Like, I'd say Pirates of the Caribbean Curse of the Black Pearl for the Game Boy Advance is really obscure.
That's a good
This
question.
was fun. Listen. You think it's just isometric? There's like a ship. There's an entire ship a part of the game where like you play on an open ocean as a pirate ship, and like you actually go and shoot and take out other pirate ships. It's crazy, man.
Did I think about it? I've played so many video games in my life, like different games. Like I think back then, and I'm like, holy cow! Like I used to play like, I played the original Sims on the PC.
Oh, geez, really?
Yeah, which is like crazy to think about. I've actually played like every Sims game.
Yeah, but whenever you like go back and think about it, like what's a game that you know you're just like, I've played this, but I can guarantee very, very little other people have played it. Flashed away.
That game is so bad.
It's amazing to me that you actually like played that game.
I don't know why I remember it so well. And there's also this, maybe it was a Shrek
These
game.
terrible like mouse 3D sprites.
There was like a Shrek game on the DS. Oh my god, no, it wasn't on the DS. There was this Shrek game that was like like a carnival game or something like that. Shrek Carnival
I'm concerned
Craze.
about what Hector's on about, honestly.
Shrek Carnival Craze. I guess I was really addicted to Shrek.
I don't think anything's changed.
I also played a lot of PC games. I know we all did, but it's funny. So I remember I would bookmark these games that I would find like online and play all the time, and somehow all my bookmarks, since I've kept like the same Google account and stuff for this long, all of my bookmarks from when I was younger for all these games and stuff, I have them right now on my PC. So at any point I can just look through this giant list of bookmarks that I have, and so many of them are just games that I like name random stuff. Like one of them's favorite Pong game, another's just named Motorbike.
On stream right now, I'm showing
One's
off
named
the Shrek
Bomb.
Carnival games.
One's named Bloody. Like, what was my naming convention back then?
You know, Hector, you're right now that I
Yeah.
think about it, where I hadn't realized how many games I've actually played. So I was just like, I could like mention the hamster ball game that I've talked about before. But then again, this is also coming from the same person that for some reason 100%ed up on the DS on one car ride to California.
What even?
And then I realized that I've also played 4 of the Chicken Invader games, and you guys must be like, what the heck is a Chicken Invader? Which is like Space Invaders, but with what did you link me, Hitarth? Which is Space Invaders, but with like obviously like a chicken aesthetic. Like you take out chickens and like whenever you shoot them, they drop fried chicken. And the only reason it like caught my eye more than normal Space Invaders did is because the chickens could also drop like weapon upgrades for your ship and then different weapons for your ship.
That's interesting.
And like they actually had like different enemy types to keep it interesting. And I had this like super small laptop where it installed one of the games that had like an 8-hour battery life, and obviously it wasn't intensive, so it never took a lot of battery. And I would just play that on like car trips.
Dude, I'm watching it on stream right now, the Shrek Carnival Craze.
My
I
God.
put it up on the Twitch stream. This brings back so many memories. It was on
I
the
can
Wii.
hear it through your audio.
No, it's muted. It's muted.
I can't hear it. Audie's just hearing things.
Don't worry, I'm just hallucinating. You know how it is.
Mm-hmm.
I used to play this at my cousin's house, and it was so fun. It was like Mario Party, essentially, with Shrek.
Is this a
IP.
Wii game?
Yeah, it's a Wii game.
Yeah, the Wii was
Mhm.
home to an absurd amount of like shovelware, where it was like
Yeah.
since it was the most popular console, but people would just release like these garbage games, and to
Hey,
quote Scott the Waz,
Respect
who
on my Carnival Cruise.
okay, they would release an absurd amount of games. Let me rephrase that then. And to quote Scott the Waz, a lot of parents would go, "I have $20 and I need to entertain my kid for a couple of hours," and so they just saw this bin full of like games, and like at the time, like still guess now, it hasn't really changed all that much. A lot of parents are just like they don't know the difference between like Mario and then like
and
Rootin'
Madagascar.
Shootin' Carnival, like whatever it was.
Oh man.
Yeah.
And so they would just like pump out these like super low quality games, and people would buy them just because they didn't really know the difference.
Yeah, I think that would be my answer for the weirdest game. Probably the Shrek Carnival Craze on the Wii. I don't think many people picked that one up, to be honest.
I don't think many people picked up on the DS, and for some reason I decided
want
that was
that
a
on the
game
DS.
that I was getting as a birthday present. Like
Your
I
mom
saw
was like,
all
"What do
the
you
like
want?" And
wide
you're like,
variety
"Up
of
for
games
the DS."
available on the Nintendo DS, and I said, "Give me up."
Can't believe
And then
that.
they yeeted you to the skies.
Oh,
Alright.
man.
What game, and then I guess we can just answer this one like pretty fast, but what game do you think you put the most time into that is single player?
Minecraft.
Yeah.
That's not single player, not the time that you spent on it.
Oh, that's true. That's true. That's like exclusively single player.
Yeah. What is the most single player like time that you spent on a game?
Oh, that's hard. Probably Sims 1.
Sims 1?
Yeah,
Hmm.
probably.
I'm trying to think, and I was gonna say Mystery Dungeon, and then I realized I spent probably 400 hours on Persona 5, so I think I'm gonna say that.
Yeah, I think that one for you for sure. I'm trying to think whether it's like a game I play closer to now or an old one. Well, one that fits both of those, I say that I've played a decent amount would be Sonic Adventure 2 Battle.
That's true. You have played a lot of that game.
I played that like when I was younger, and I still play it now. So
Actually, my answer might be. Well, I don't know. It's tough. Cause like
Binding of Isaac is a close contender.
I don't really play
Oh,
any
that's true.
single player
because
games.
I have like over 600 hours in all the games combined, and literally just Rebirth and Afterbirth and stuff. I have over 400 hours on Steam, and then in the original, I have at least 200 some.
Jeez, yeah.
Yeah, I have about. I don't know. I would say it's probably either Sims, the original Sims, or like some DS game, like probably New Super Mario Bros. Because I did play that often with all the mini games and stuff like that. But honestly, like recently, I haven't really played much. Like, I mean, you could look at my Switch. Maybe I've played, I don't know, 50 hours of Odyssey or something like that. So maybe it's Odyssey, because I literally have not put in more than that on a single player game, like ever, that I can remember.
That's understandable, honestly.
Yeah.
Minecraft, I definitely have put in more time single player, but if we're counting a game that's only single player,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Mhm.
But let's look to the future for a bit, shall we? And this week, I'm gonna take over Deal of the Week, and here in a couple of days on November 8th, Target's gonna be doing a buy two get one free sale, and for any games that they have, and this actually I say any games asterisk. This includes next generation titles, like for PS5 and the Xbox Series X. I'm gonna get so tired of saying that. But you can like pre-order games and get buy two get one free. I'm considering, getting some of that. Maybe looking into seeing if they have a copy of the Pathless and I can get Devil May Cry. So that's good stuff. Buy two get one free. And yeah, do we have anything else? You guys looking forward to anything like? I'm just having a stroke. I'm just rambling. Just put me out of my misery.
Actually had a stroke.
Listen.
You couldn't believe it.
Bleh.
Deal of the week is everything, because apparently every main distributor of or sales place like Amazon, Best Buy, all of those are doing like Black Friday month. So I'm sure over the course of this entire month they'll probably pop up a ton of deals related to gaming or anything for that matter if you're interested in picking up stuff. So I'd definitely
That's true. I forgot about that.
yeah, I'd definitely check that out and really just like keep an eye on there, because they'll throw up stuff all the time. But what's something that you guys are wanting to maybe pick up for Thanksgiving?
Miles Morales.
I think mine is Legion. Watch Dogs Legion. Hitarth, you got anything?
I don't really have anything. I think I'm excited to play Spider-Man 2, honestly, Miles Morales, even though I'm not gonna be able to pick it up, but I still want to play it for sure.
It's okay. You know what you can pick up?
This segment
New music!
New music. Yes, sir. You already know. Reading my mind as the show comes to a close. We got new music. Always excited for it. 3 new pieces of new music ready to listen to. We've got Limping Lamb by Gamblers. We played one of them before a few weeks ago. It's from their album Small World. Their music is still a mix of alt rock, and they are upbeat and still very chill to listen to. So I hope you guys enjoyed that one. And then the 2 right after are going to be View from the Sky and In Gloves by Shy Boys from their album Talk Loud. We've also played some music from them. Their music is indie pop, and the songs have a bunch of layered harmonies and a lot of poppy synths. So it's an overall bright tone for their music. So I hope you guys enjoy those.
All right, sounds good. That's all the time that we have for this week. Sorry there wasn't much news, but what'll you do? We're right before the next generation. But we'll see you guys next week when
I hope you
hopefully
guys
there
enjoy
will be
those.
more news. Once again, pandemic's
All
still
right,
going on.
sounds good.
If you're gonna go
That's all the
outside,
time that
stay
we have for
safe,
this
wear a
week.
mask.
Sorry there
and
wasn't
we'll see
much
you guys
news,
next
but
time. what'll you do? We're right before the next generation. But we'll see you guys next next week when hopefully there will be more news. Once again, pandemic's still going on. If you're gonna go outside, stay safe, wear a mask, and we'll see you guys next time.